Hey guys, I am here with Arix and Sean from the Paper Bear. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your film.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so our film, it actually started as a documentary project and it turned into a feature film, and it's really highlighting the North Florida Panhandle and the amazing biodiversity that's up there. A lot of people don't realize it's one of the world's biodiversity hotspots. And so we wanted to make a film that could be seen by the general public and not just be a documentary. We wanted to do something that was more adventurous with drama and comedy. And we really wanted to bring in real wild animals. So we spent over 2.5 years filming with real wild Florida black bears. And I think when you see the film, you'll see that it's so seamless, you feel like the actors are actually out there with the wild animals.
This film not only is live action and in the woods and with live bears, but there's also some animation involved with this too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Arix and I, so how it started is we kind of broke apart and wrote 2 parts of the script. Arix wrote the live action part of the film, and I did the animation part, and then we came together, and then from that moment on, we just meshed the 2, and it really became this really incredible story of a father and son who go into the woods, and around the campfire, this whole animated world comes to life, and you get to see this, their son's animation and his imagination come to life.
So did you encounter a lot of bears, I'm sure,
Oh,
and
yeah,
other wildlife?
so-
What is it like to film with that kind of wildlife? And
It's amazing. I spent, it took me 3 months of, anywhere from 14 to 16 hours a day to make first contact with a wild bear, and it was a young female, and then she and I basically lived together for a 1.5 years, and then she got pregnant and had a cub, and then I spent the next year with her and the cub filming.
Wow.
So most of my interactions were, anywhere from 8 to 14, 16 hours a day with her and her cub, and then I did interact with a lot of other bears that would come in, but most of the film, all the bears you see in the film are her and the cub, and yeah.
That's what's really cool is when he wrote the script for the live action, he had those frames in mind
yeah.
and how to integrate the footage that he captured with the bears. So when we're on set and he's getting the crew to set up, he'd say, no, I need it framed this way, because knowing exactly where the bear footage and how he needed to place that,
Yeah.
which was really neat.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was seeing some behind the scenes footage, and I saw your camera crew was in the swamp.
Yep.
And let's talk about that a little bit, like how you have to be so careful with your equipment and
Yeah.
being in nature.
So a big part of this, we brought in a gentleman named Savage Bell, a producer up in the Panhandle, and for me it was critical to bring a producer who was local, because that ensured that he knew the locations and kind of how difficult it was to film. So when he pulled the crew together, we brought Brad Richard out of LA, and Ryan Mingham out of Atlanta, and Scott was our sound guy out of Orlando. So we brought a lot of industry people in to do it, but they had to be people who were willing to go and get in a swamp. And because, Savage, the producer, was like, can we just do all this in a studio? And we're like, no, we're going to these real locations. So it was, we traveled hundreds of miles over 3 weeks just to get to all these real locations and film. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was intense, but incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys do something like this again, where you're out in nature and?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now my wife would say,
Absolutely. Yeah, there's the problem with that, yeah.
we're done with this 5-year living in the woods. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, guys. What's up next for the Paper Bear?
Well, we're just like, whoa, we got it done and we got it in.
festivals.
More
Yeah.
festivals, yeah. And then we're going to be talking to distributors, hopefully get it. We would love to do a theater run, at least in the Southeast. And I think with the animation, it's such a family-focused film, which is kind of what does well in the theaters now. So
Yeah.
distributors, come find us.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
You heard it from them. You heard it
Yeah.
from us. Go check out the Paper Bear. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.